So what I did was I restarted the stream, and that seems to have fixed it. So let's see if we can get something to work here. So I guess the first thing we're looking at is starting a trigger. I'm trying to go through this. On this web page, this demo. If the trigger is set to trigger only once, then you save it. It won't trigger again, even if you load up the scenario. Oh, there's a reset button. The connection won't show immediately. Save the scenario and it will appear. So let's say so we've got this area somewhere here that I was going to. So let's add some stuff here. So first we'll add a player. I always use Medium Astronaut, and he's going to be the start. Now it says can generate missions. Well, in the example it says false, but I always put true, and I always set them to 1. There can be 4 team members. Well, I guess it can be a large number of team members. So I set that to 1. And we're gonna create a new scenario. We'll call it Z Events 1. Now, I know that's flashing over there. So the reason why it's doing that is because the web page is up on my so let me just get rid of that. Sorry about that. Alright, so I don't know. Let's say, for example, the event I want to create is I want to be able to go, let's say, to this area here. Now, if you go down here, there's explore, there's analyze, there's photo. Meaning, like, if I wanted to create a photo event here, I could just say add. I think that's really small. So, actually, let's see if is there a way to delete that. Explore. it will delete all objects of that type. So if I've got tons of explorers, it's going to delete them all. Well, so maybe what I would do is I would create one. So each time I create some sort of an event, I probably have to save it. So let's say we have to photograph this rock right here. So we'll put that on there. We click on that. Now it does. There's positions here. I thought there'd be a size. Minimum visible zones. On color cam. Global objective. Minor objective. Edit. Well, we could put something on here. I don't know. Perform basic terrain mapping. Might give some money. Priority. Minor. Now see, there's some stuff here. So that sort of takes care of that. Now, in order to get over there, we have to know that it sort of exists. So if, let's say, if we create an on enter, and we could put it here. Now it's sort of in that area, but maybe we can move it with these little arrows right here. We can sort of move that on an XY axis. Now we want to create a link with our character. Our little guy is right here. I can click on him. I can click on that event over there. So now we've got this thing triggered by vehicles, ragdolls, projectiles. The only thing we want to trigger that by, well, it doesn't matter really. Anything will trigger it. Here's the trigger once only, so we could probably set that to false. Actually, we could set that to true, because once it's triggered, maybe he wants to remember. Maybe he needs to remember, you know what I mean? Or, yeah. So now what we would have to do, we got to link. We have to link the trigger with the character somehow. Let's see here. Oh, I just picked him up. Oh my god. I didn't think I could do that. We have to do this linking part, and I don't really see how to do that yet, so let's go. What we're gonna do is we'll save this. We're gonna edit the scenario properties a little bit here. Give him a little bit more time. I'm gonna get rid of all this weather. And then what we're gonna do is, well, actually, if I go back to see, I can't seem to click on things. If I'm in that mode, I can do it. I can click on it if I move the whole thing around. See, there's an on an on enter, but there's nothing else I can do with it. So we're going to save this. go back out here. The intention is to show a message when a player approaches the buggy. Well, say this guy's exploring around and he needs to look for the olivine. Oh, I see. Select to link its trigger to an object. Select the trigger. Select the desired object with shift held, and then press Control L. So see, that's something I didn't know about. So we'll go back in here, and we want to link these two together. So we'll hit this. We'll hold the shift key down. Uh-oh, I can't seem to. Let's try this. I selected him there. Let's see, I can't get over there to select that item. It won't let me select it unless I'm in this other mode. And if I hit the shift key, I'm not going to be able to do anything. If things are like far apart, like a lot of these locations are going to be way far away from the guy, right? So, oh, I see. If I hit shift, see, I can't move anything. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Let me look at this again. To link a trigger on an object, select the trigger, then select the desired object with shift held, and press Control L on your keyboard. The connection error won't show immediately. Save the scenario and it will appear. Oh God. Okay, so it didn't show up. Well, I've got the... Alright, let's say if we go do it this way. Let's say if we select here. I got that finally selected. Now I'm going to go do this. I'm going to hit shift. Control L. But it's not selected though. There's no arrow. Yeah, it's not showing up. God. There was a video here. Let's see what this video is. Oh, a message popped up in the screen there. Oh, there's something coming down. That's pretty cool. But that's not what... Trigger on enter. First thing to do once trigger to is all its linked objects and trigger all events is attached to them. Trigger also by universal on event as defined. Here the event name is trigger on start. The trigger is set to check every 8.25 seconds. First, it looks if it is linked, there aren't events. Yes, if yes, it would go through all of them and check if they're in the zone. Afterwards, check is complete. Nothing else will be done. It will happen for every linked object inside that trigger zone. All linked events will be triggered. The second is that the trigger will send out another universal event. Enter a lockdown state to inhibit sending out events. This state will be moved. Blah blah blah. That's trigger on exit. There are 3 types of events. Yeah, I think that some of these got removed. Oh, this is in here. Oh, that's further on with, we haven't gotten that far. Linking triggers with events. We do that by having both the trigger and the event selected. Now how can you select both of them at the same time? And hitting Control L, this hotkey can be changed in the settings. Wow, this looks a lot different from mine. I'm gonna maximize this for a minute. Right, let me just go back. Enter. Event effects. Control L. Now wait a minute. So if I go here, I don't know, this is weird. It's really weird. If I go over here and select this, okay, and then, well, this guy's already selected. How can he be selected? I don't know. Now, see what happened up here? The starting unit ended up being false again. Something weird has happened and I don't know why that's selected right there. My God. Let me put in I'm gonna have to put in another object in here. large refinery. Wait. Let's put in medium rover. Alright, see now nothing's selected. It's weird, isn't it? Select. I can't deselect it though. Oh, you know, every time I click on that, it changes the true false. I can't deselect the rover. I clicked it twice and I got rid of it. That's selected. And that's selected. Now if I hit Control L, oh, that's way over here. And save it. No, those two are not linked. Because I didn't hit the Shift key. Let's try... I can't deselect that rover. I got it to deselect that time. I just kept clicking that key. Alright, now let's hold the Shift key. Now see, I can't... Oh. Alright, so I'm on there. I'm on top of that event, but I didn't click it. So I'll hold the Shift key. And then Control L. And then save it. And it still doesn't show up. Probably because it didn't get selected. Well, it's selected now. Now that's selected. Now if I hit Control L and save, I'm still getting that stupid flashing. I tried Shift Control L, it didn't work. Let me replay this again. I gotta expand this out. On enter. Create at cursor. I don't know what that is. That's selected. Control L and save. It's not working. Well, I don't know. Let me try something here. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Create event. Take on Mars. Everything's on YouTube these days. First steps, creating and consuming events. Building a 3D printer. Printer assembly. Mod Maker's Manual, Data Structure and Modifications. I'm not gonna find it on there, I don't think. Linking triggers with events. I've got an event enter. Having both the trigger and the event selected and hitting Control L. Also sound, music, and sound effects. Those sound shaders that play a loop, but you should use them as ambient music. Here's the deal with the effects event. The sound you hear is located where the event cube is placed in the scenario editor. You can't see it while playing the actual scenario. If you move away from the position, the sound will grow weaker. That would be cool, looking for the methane vents. Let's see if we can see if this is here. Creating an effects event. Place an on-enter trigger. Configure it to be trigger only. Add an effects event. Select both the trigger and the event. And press Control L. That looks like a capital L. I wonder if, does that have to be a capital L? Save in your scenario. That's where I was, right here. Now let's go back to this and try it again. Now, if I select that, oh, I just clicked it once and it deselected. But see, deselect. It won't deselect her over. I had to click it twice there. Okay. I can deselect a man twice. Oh, it goes over to this guy. Oh, I deselected it by clicking it twice. Okay. So, now it's selected because it's got that square around it. Okay. Now, that's, oops, the rover is selected. Now I hit Control L. Oh, there it goes, it works. Woohoo! Yeah, baby! We've got a link. That's cool. Alright, so when that rover enters, then when the, but that doesn't really matter because, well, whatever. So now what about the event? There's, oh crap. Alright, so how do I get rid of it, I wonder? Now if I hit Control L again. Oh, it deselected the link. Good. The reason being is I want to go back here and look at this. That's on enter. Okay, it says on enter down there. But see, the thing of it is, this could be triggered by anything anyway. But maybe nothing happens. Maybe you've got to link this to happen in order for, you know, so we're going to click the character here. Now I'm going to hit Control L. Now there's a link there. So, but now the question is, so we've got an on enter with a link. Now there's an event effects. Now let's say we want to create a new one, and what we would probably do, well, actually, I don't know if the effects is actually inside of that. Let's just put it out here and see what happens. Create event effects. Alright, see there's a cube there, and we can move that. We can move this. There's a way to move this. With this arrows. Oh, you grab the... What the hell? I thought I could do this, 'cause I thought you could grab the arrow. Well, it doesn't matter, I can do it this way. No, wait just a minute now. Don't we have to link the... We have to link the effect. It's selected. But we don't want to link it to the rover, to the man, I guess. Or maybe we do. Maybe it just it does that anyway. Oh, I see. The man's not selected right now. Now we've got the effect and that. Now let's hit another Control L. Well, it didn't seem to do anything. Trigger once only. Well, there's an effect here, and we've saved it. So let's go to I'm going to go to my scenarios, which you can't see right now. So let's see, scenarios, Z events. There's a Z event scenario, and there's another way to read this, and I can't read it with WordPad because everything's all screwed up. Edit. There's a way to... See, Notepad 2 just screws everything up and I can't read anything. I don't know how come that even showed up on the screen there. Oh, I've got Notepad selected. Shit. Alright. So when it's triggered, it defines special effect, sound effect. There's no coding, nothing. As you can see, nothing happens to the barrel. The effects it simply displays a particle effect and plays a sound effect at that location. Scripting is the next chapter. Event properties. Once you've placed an effects event in your scenario, it will have a standard particle effect and sound already. That way you can quickly test it. It's nothing exciting. Particle effect path is .ptc. And the extracted game data under particles. Particle. Note, these effects are mute. You have to combine them with the sound. And that's what the second option is good for. You'll enter the sound shader name. The sounds can be found in the extracted game data or any mod add-ons that mods provide sounds. Example scenario. Oh, that's not showing up on the thing here. Sorry about that. Creating an effects event. I'm going to subscribe to this effects event. Save this. Now, alright, there's the particle and heavy PTC. But I can't look at it. I already saved Z event, so let's go look at the scenario that we just downloaded. This one right here. Let's go to editor. I don't know. No, I don't know exactly where that's located. So I guess how would we do this? We'd play the event first, the scenario. It doesn't say where this guy's located. Could be Gale created, Gusov, wherever. So instead of going through all that, we'll just play it first. And we can find out where this event is taking place momentarily after this gets loaded here. So I guess when he walks at the end of this thing here, an event's going to happen. Let's hit the map screen, right click, and it says Victoria Crater. So now we know that the scenario is in Victoria Crater. And let's go ahead and play it and see what happens. Something. Yeah. Whoa, major explosion right there. So 2 explosions happened. Now, let's save the game. Whoa, I don't know what happened. Oh, so that event triggered again. Maybe it just keeps... Oh, you can run backwards quick, that's cool. Alright, so just out of curiosity, let's load this. So it kind of exploded again. So let's go to the editor, pick Victoria Crater, and now we can look at that scenario. We can't change anything, but we can look at it. Now we'll load. Let's see what we got here. We've got FX Experiment right here. There's some campaigns in there. Some stuff that I haven't looked at. So now we can see how this was designed. So there's the first effect. Oh, I hit a building block or something. Okay, there it is. So, triggered by vehicles, triggered by ragdolls, no. Well, the guys are ragdolls, so now I don't understand. Trigger once only true. There's an event here that's in the script. I did double click on that. Let me go over here. You can see a link there. See, on enter, it links to that effect right there. So that I understand. I'm just trying to click on this other event though. I can't seem to get to it because the objects are in the way. It's like buried under that object. It's hard to get to. That's the effect right there, heavy particle. Now if I go over here, and that's heavy particle. And that's the event trigger there. And that's the event trigger there. So it's pretty simple. You walk in the area and an event is triggered. So it could be a sound or it could be a particle effect, and what we're looking for is we want something that gives us some direction. So I pretty much understand this part of it, how to actually go about. I've unsubscribed from that because I don't need it anymore. Now there's a missile test here. The sound, I mean, that part I don't really need to get into. Now a script event is placed just like its properties are even simpler, it is quite more powerful. So since you can upload it, upload such an event script with it. You can publish it as an add-on or a mod. Where you put it is up to you. Scripts, entities, event scripts. The game's engine is access to cell file paths. I won't name all of them, just the important ones. Path X game. There we have configuration list. You could change stuff here, but you have no way of publishing it. It's of no use to us. The game data, which is stored in pack files. Well, looks like whatever. You have only reading access to that. When you create a mod, I know about that. Okay, if you'd like to change copy, blah blah. Change. In other words, I know my mod directory. I know how to do the mods. Browse into your folder will you see subfolders like particles and scripts. This location can be considered the game's root path, meaning if you have an event script in your mod, it would be that location. So I understand that. My event scripts. It could be like my local add-on packs, my mod scripts, my event scripts. Just as if it were a vanilla event script. If you create an add-on instead, the generating flow shows slightly different. That way it is impossible to overwrite existing files. Which makes sense, consider the add-on is supposed to be an add-on to something, not to modify it. But your event script won't be uploaded with it. So that means you have to create a mod or add-on just to handle your scenario logic. You have to create an add-on in order to install more than just your scenario file. Once you create your add-on, move your scenario files to your add-on folder as such, and your event scripts to wherever you'd like to have them. I'd like to try another approach. You can ship your scenarios with a scenario script file. It is named just like the scenario, but with the suffix .script. Mission objectives. But there's nothing holding you back from using it to utilize the path properly. That is, of course, you have to set it up as an add-on. Oh, I see. If the script file you create is put in with the scenario, it's a separate file. But if I take that script and put it in my directory, then yeah, you have to use the same path that is written at the end of the scenario file. Right, in other words, the name has to be the same name, I guess. A working example. This might be a little bit further than what I want to get into. Yes, it is actually. There's a timer event, mod, supply drop event. Alright, let's see if he walks into an area. Changes a couple of standard files. It won't work with mods that change one of those script files. Wow. So if there's another mod that does something similar, then it could screw it up. changelog, supply configurations. Let's see what this is here. Drop event. Well, if I go and look at, I've got to drop this web page. If I go and look at my there's configs. No, wait a minute. Add-ons. There's scripts, but there's no script files in there. If I go to the extracted data and look at scripts, there's a global objective, achievement scripts, conversational scripts, ambient music, a rover campaign script, campaign space program, scenarios 2, that's campaign space program. And there's a file in there that we can, well, we can't modify it, but we can only get into it. That's, wait, this is a script though. That's just way, this is way further than what I want to get into. There's a conversational. It just talks about, yeah, I don't want to get into that global objective config. Let's see what this is here. I wonder if we could put this global objective in the, what if we could take this config file? What's this? Campaign global objectives. Hey, wait a minute now, let me look at this again. Oh, wouldn't I put that in my mod? Let's see, copy. We've got scripts, campaign. There's actually tech trees in there too, isn't there? Campaign. What if I put this whole section? Well, I could put in tech trees, achievement. There's game definitions, but all that stuff's already in there. Even this is in there, but it might not be in my mod. Let's just copy this for the heck of it here. That's in the scripts, and I'm going to put that in my... Oh, there's also a tech tree thing here. Well, I put that in there as part of my add-on. And it may show up as an objective if I create a new. But it seems like I have to call that script though within this scenario. It might be part of that space program mod. Where did I find that? The rover campaign. There's a rover campaign. Oh, I wonder. Rover campaign. That's a script file. No, that's an H file. It's not a script file. So if I had a script file that could access, yeah, it's just getting too far. More than what I want to get into. So let me look for, okay, this particle. There's sounds. I don't know. There's ambience. There's effects. There's an effects sound. There's impacts. These are OGG files. Oh, there's all kinds of effects here. Geysers, effects, geysers. These are effects sounds. They're not the... There's dialogues, campaign dialogues. Mission start. Let's see what this sounds like.
All systems nominal. We've safely arrived at the International Space Station. All systems nominal. We've safely arrived at the...
So that's just a loop.
Commander, init sequence complete. ISS systems online.
That's some of that stuff that's part of the other space mission. These are different audio. Okay, dialogues. Ambience. More ambient sounds. Where's the particle? There's the PTC file. Instruments. I'm looking in the extracted data directory is where I'm looking at the sounds and such. So let's say we've got, if I have a mod that has the same directory as the extracted data, my mod will override what's in that data, or it will add to it. So what I could do is I'm wanting to have a dialogue, or that would be a sound. There's sound and dialogues. I don't care about well, there's effects sounds in there which I can use that's already in the game, but I may want to add dialogues. There's campaign dialogues, and I could just create my own. I could just put it in dialogues, actually. Sounds, dialogues. So that is if I wanted to do that. Oh, I've got an idea. I've got an idea that might make it easier. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the stream.